Is that okay with you girls? Okay, we'll head back to camp, get something to drink. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just blow right past camp. We'll see. Okay, let's go. This western section of the trail is pretty nice. Hi there, welcome to another Two-Wheeled Wednesdays. Today we're at Valley of the Rogue State Park, and we're at the campground. You can see we camped here last night. We're going to camp again tonight. It's a nice state park campground right off of I-5 between the cities of Gold Hill and Rogue River, and it's right along the Rogue River, which is why this is Valley of the Rogue State Park. It's also right out there along the river is the Rogue River Greenway, and we're going to go explore it by bike. Here's a little bit more on the Greenway.
Officially called the Rogue River Recreational Corridor and Greenway, it's a planned collection of parks and public access areas along the Rogue River between Central Point, just north of Medford, and Grants Pass here in southern Oregon, that will be linked together by a pedestrian and bicycle route. The Bear Creek Greenway goes from Central Point to Ashland, so when it's all completed and connected, you'll be able to ride or walk the 50 miles between Grants Pass and Ashland. Parts of the Rogue River Greenway are done, others are still in the planning stages. Today we're doing the route between the towns of Rogue River and Gold Hill. Well, almost. We're going to turn around before we get to Gold Hill.
Okay, well, I guess it's time to get ready. Load the girls into their two-wheeled wagon, tail wagon. Clean up camp a little bit. And do some exploring. Sound good? Great, let's go. Ready, girls? Okay, let's go. This is a big state park. It's a big campground. As you can tell, I-5 is right there. And there's a bunch of different loops. We're camped in the F loop, which is the farthest west. And we're gonna go see what the rest of the campground looks like.
Altogether, there are 106 campsites in the park, and all but 5 of them have electric and water hookups. There's also a couple of RV dump stations, half a dozen yurts or so. And then once you roll past the main loops, you're on a designated bike path through the rest of the state park.
Over here to this side is a rest stop off of I-5. This whole fenced in area is their dog run area. When you're traveling down I-5 between Grants Pass and Medford, is a great place to stop and let your dogs run around and stretch their legs. You can stretch your legs. Oops, sorry girls. And down here, we're at the east end of the interstate rest area. Is a boat ramp. So you've got river access here. So if you're coming to camping and you got a boat, you can throw it in here and head down towards Gold Hill. Or towards Rogue River. I mean, Gold Hill is upriver.
After the boat ramp, the bike path heads under Interstate 5. On the north side of I-5, the separate bike path turns into a designated bike lane that runs parallel to North River Road and heads towards the city of Gold Hill. But before we get to Gold Hill, we roll through the little community of Rock Point, Oregon. Rock Point, back in the 19th century, in the 1870s, was a happening place. There was a hotel and a tavern, there was a train station, a post office. These days, it's a collection of homes and the sprawling Del Rio vineyards.
Alright, so up the road this way, that way, is the Oregon Vortex, the House of Mystery. Yeah, I've lived in this area for 30 years. I've driven past this thing, I don't know how many times. I've never gone. Maybe this is the year. So this looks like the end of the designated bikeway. From here on, its shoulders into Gold Hill. So we're going to turn around. Is that okay with you girls? Okay, we'll head back to camp, get something to drink. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just blow right past camp. We'll see. Okay, let's go.
quite a few people out on the Greenway, but there was plenty of room for everybody, human and otherwise.
Ding ding.
Everybody was enjoying the beautiful morning, and everybody was really friendly. There were people jogging and running. There were people on scooters. There were people walking their dogs. People riding bikes, and people like me riding their bikes with their dogs.
I tried that with him, and all he did was stick his head up through the roof and cry.
Aw.
Have a nice day.
This western section of the trail is pretty nice. And I'm not the only one that's enjoying it. And I think this is the end of the western end. And I don't feel like going into town. Very cool. Okay, let's turn around and head home. All right, well that was fun. That was a lot longer than I expected. I thought it was just going to be a couple miles in either direction, but it was something like 16 miles round trip. So that's pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Did you like it, girls? Huh? Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us on another Two-Wheeled Wednesdays. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I did. I think the girls did. So all in all, it's a successful trip. You know, the people that are building the trails and the Rogue River Greenway have been at it for years. One of their biggest fundraising events is a cycling event called Ride the Rogue. I rode in it, boy, I think it was 17, 18 years ago, and it was a great time. They put on a great event. It's in September. I'll put a link to it in the description. If you're in the area, you should definitely consider it. There's all sorts of routes. You know, I think they've got a 60-mile route, a 35-mile route, and a short route, which I think just rides on the Greenway like we did today. Okay, well that's it for today. Time to get some cold water and something to eat, maybe a little biscuit, And guess that's about it. So remember, doesn't matter what you ride, where you ride, how fast you ride, how slow you ride, who you ride with. It doesn't matter, because life is twice as good on two wheels. And we'll see you next week.